quiet, and it is set in a library. It was a beautiful spring day in the little town of Greenwood, Indiana. In the warm air, the fragrance of blooming tulips could be smelled, with the rich smell of red cabbages growing in nearby gardens. The only sounds to be heard were the faint moan of the fire engine in a nearby neighborhood, the distant barking of a dog, and the occasional whistle of the policewoman at the stoplight in town. In the town library, someone turned a page too loudly, and the librarian said, "On the main road, just on the edge of Greenwood, a farmer was lazily driving his animals to the farmer's market. Each time he hit a bump, the pigs grunted and the chickens squawked. Yet all was peaceful in the little town of Greenwood. Suddenly, two kids appeared on the quiet street. They were singing and marching in time to the rhythm of the noises on the street. They reached the center of town, where the policewoman blew her whistle to let them cross the street. Still singing, they marched up the steps of the library. The librarian looked up quickly. Each boy took a book and sat down on one of the tables. One of the kids looked around at the almost empty library and said they'd do a lot more business around here if they had comic books. Guess what the librarian said? That's right. Outside, the dog could be heard. The policewoman blew her whistle as a car approached the intersection, followed by the farmer's truck. The woman in the car signaled for a right turn, but oddly enough, her car made a left turn. The farmer slammed on his brakes, and there was a loud crash. Down went the tailgate of the truck, and out tumbled the pigs and the chickens. The dog barked wildly, frightened the grunting pigs, ran up the library steps, followed by the squawking chickens and a yelping dog. The librarian was startled. The kids jumped up and burst into song. In rushed the policewoman, frantically blowing her whistle. From across the street, old Mrs. Andrews saw the disturbance and called 911 for the fire engine. But an hour later, everything was peaceful again in the little town of Greenwood. The pigs and the chickens had somehow been caught and put back in the truck. The kids and the dog had gone home for supper. The fire engine was back in the station house, and the policewoman stood at her post by the intersection. The librarian looked around the library at all the flying feathers, the muddy floor, the scattered books, the overturned tables, and the broken chairs. Then all of a sudden, the librarian screamed, and everybody said, "Good job."